and welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is Heavy is the Crown. I am your host, Vector Lynn, joined with my co-host, Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
And we have a little bit of time here, but right now, like we said before, we did an interview the other day with Italian metal band Violet Blend, and we are going to play that for you right now.
Yes.
You got anything else to add?
No, I don't know. I thought they were very lovely, and I'm really excited for everyone to listen to
Yes,
this interview.
they truly were such a pleasure to talk to.
Honestly, just finally speak to some fellow artists.
Someone else besides you.
Oh, it was a great change of pace.
Anyway, you're not here to listen to us talk about them.
No.
You're here to listen to us talk to them.
To them.
So, what do we do now? Oh, yes, we play the interview.
I guess we do that. Yeah.
And welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is Heavy is the Crown. I am your host, Vector Lynn. And in order for this interview to work, I unfortunately have to be a little bit closer to Nicole than I would like. However, as much as I hate to admit it, this day is not about me. Joined with me and Nicole are two very special guests from the Italian alternative metal band Violet Blend. We have Giada Celeste Chelli, their vocalist and pianist, and Michel Agostini, their drummer. Welcome to the show. How are you guys today?
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Hi. It's a very pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, it's great to see an active band on this show for once, now that me and Nicole have been kicked out of our respective bands. And in other news, your next album, Demons, is set to release in just a few days, April 1st, 2022.
Yes. We are about to release it.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, we are very excited too.
Yeah.
Your second album, Demons, builds off of the concept of creating masks as heard in your debut album, White Mask. However, there are different underlying themes to this record. How does Demons deepen the main idea from White Mask?
Well, the mask is a metaphor of the veil in which we are imprisoned and which we use to communicate with each other. And the White Mask album's mask referred to a virtual veil and interposition of technology in this age of social networks and internet. Where you can see millions of masks, but they reflect personalities that a person can have in the non-pathological sense of the term. Personalities, and so masks are constantly changing in relations to the feelings, ideas, fears, joys that we feel, and also in relation to the situations and people that we face day after day. And the concept is you are changing in the situation you are, and so you wear a different mask. This is the concept behind Demons.
Right. And speaking of all these different masks people wear, the cover art for Demons features 13 different masks, all from different cultures, with a 14th mask being that which was depicted on the cover of White Mask. And you've said before that each track on the album relates to a different one of these masks. Can you share a few examples about which songs relate to which demons?
Yes, the cover art portrays masks of demons from every culture in the world, from Greek mythology to Celtic tradition, from Dante's literature to Aztec Empire, Celtic mythography, help me, African rituals. From every culture in the world. Rock DJ is represented by god Bes from the ancient Egypt, and because he symbolizes the good things in life. So music, dance, and sexual pleasure. He's the protector of music and entertainment and patron saint of dancers. And this song speaks about a carefree dream where music appears only as a fun, and that's why it is represented and represents god Bes. The other single among all these fools is represented by Oni from the Japanese culture. When truly wicked humans die, they become Oni because they are bringers of disasters, spreaders of diseases, and punishers of the damned in hell. And the songs speak about these wicked people. Music. I'm speaking to the music, asking it to accept me, to unfold me with its power, to ascend us to his heaven, and protect us from these fools around us that are evil people trying to impede me to reach my goals, basically. And the other single need is represented by Medusa from ancient Greece. She's a gorgon and she has snakes instead of the hair. And she has the power to petrify anyone who meets her gaze. And the song speaks about stalking, and so the petrifying fear that you can feel when you're constantly kept under control. And the song and the video convey the impossibility of living freely, being relegated to a cage from which you can not escape, and so you're petrified. And also about the suffocating pressure and dread one is chained to when you're under control. These are
like a cat in the street.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very deep and very well thought out. I applaud that, because as a lyricist for my ex band, now Skeletons and Suits, I always struggled with those metaphors and stuff. So like that's really cool, and like that's fascinating to me.
Thank you very much.
You've mentioned that you find inspiration for your songs in almost everything around you. Is there a specific type of scenario that motivates the music that you make?
Well, the two feelings that inspired Demons are mostly rage and pain. And I try to be honest in my songs. When I wrote a song, I try to explain and explain and try to purify me from that kind of feeling. We worked a lot during the quarantine for the COVID pandemic about last year, because we were completely in quarantine. We were isolated here in Italy. You cannot go out and you have to stay home, and there are several penalties if you went out. And we work a lot on the record in that period. So I think that isolation amplified everything. As I said, it's a sort of purification and atonement for me to write a song. And I try to be honest and to describe what I feel and problems that I face day by day.
Right. Amazing. And speaking of all these feelings and being honest and working when you couldn't go out and stuff, over the course of recording Demons, how have each of you grown as people, and just collectively, how have you all grown as a band?
Well, it was a great experience, and it made us grow a lot, because we were lucky enough to work with two of the most important producers for metal here in Italy, that are Alessandro Del Vecchio and Andrea Seveso. We recorded Demons at Ivory Tears Music Works Studio. I say it correct. Yeah. I hope in Milan, and as I said, it made us grow a lot, because we moved to Milan for the whole time of the recordings, and it was a great experience, because we live in the same apartment. We concentrated completely on the recordings, try to free our minds from every other thought, and also work with these two producers was amazing. Yeah, I think a beautiful studio, a beautiful way to they try to understand what we wanted to say, and it was a work that grow all together. I think.
Sure. Andrea has become part of us.
Yes,
in the days, but not only in the days, because his ideas remain in this album.
Yes, he bring a lot of ideas, and he was the other band member. I think
sure.
he became that.
Because when we work at a song, our mind is closed in that song, because you can. You can't have other contamination, but in that case, he give us some important ideas for the construction of songs and idea for arrangement and other things that is important for the realization of the album.
Yeah, the important thing is that he wanted to understand what we wanted to say, and then try to translate these things in the production of the album, because it's not only music and words, but also the production, and this is very important when you work with someone.
In addition to being part of a band, all of you are teachers at academics in Italy, not to mention having a handful of music degrees between all of you. Has being music instructors affected the work dynamic of the band, and how has it influenced the music that you make?
Okay, I think that's two different kind of works. Very different, because I've known a lot of drummer who can play very well, very professional, but they can't teach because they don't have a method. Good professionality, but if you don't have method, you can't teach. There's two different kind of work. The only things is the time you can lost with the guys you teach is time you can't use for the band.
Yes, I think that you have to learn how to teach, and this is very, very important, because you don't only have to know music for teaching it, I think.
It's so difficult to teach music if you are a self-made musician. The method for teachers is all.
Yeah, I think so.
With the whole recording of the album, there's also been a lot of touring, and as you said before, Italy, as long with most of the world, but very specifically Italy, has been very strict with going outside and stuff. But we're seeing a lot of live shows and touring return stuff. And in terms of touring, you've played with many big bands. And what was one of your favorite big bands to play with before everything got
yeah, in the past.
Yeah.
For me, I think that Radiohead, because it was one of the most interesting person that I've ever known in my life. I think for me, it's Radiohead. For you?
And for me, I think Chris Lade, because by a drummer.
Chris Lade from AC/DC.
He's a drummer from AC/DC, and he's a legend for every drummer, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that for you was Chris Lade, I think. So yeah, he is also, it was a great show. Yeah, I remember. It was in February 2020. So the pandemic stopped
right there.
10 days before quarantine.
Yeah, right there.
Can you tell us what was the weirdest thing that has ever happened to you guys while playing live?
The weirdest thing that happened to us in a live. Hai capito? La più strana.
In all life.
In un live.
In a live. Okay.
I'm trying to translate because we have.
There's not a particular thing. Sometime during our shows, Giada turned around by my face and speak with me during the instrumental sessions. Obviously I don't listen nothing, but I learned to write labial. and we had some speeches during the instrumental part and instrumental parts. And we talk about
Weather.
About the live situations.
Yeah, how's it going? I think it's going well.
If you are just tuning in now, this is 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and you're listening to Heavy is the Crown. My name is Vector Lynn with my co-host Nicole, REDACTED, and today we are joined with a very special guest, Giada and Michel from the Italian metal band Violet Blend, and their second album, Demons, is set to release on April 1st, 2022.
We discussed the band's latest album, and now we're going to talk about college radio. Nowadays, there are so many different methods of finding and listening to music. With the rise in convenience of streaming services, why do you believe college radio is still important to both listeners and artists alike?
College radio is a sort of student identity manifesto, and I think it is very important because it is personal in a certain sense. In a way, it's personal, and I think that there is a need to rediscover personal relationships and to get back to listening and talking to each other. So I think that this kind of personal relationship that college radios can have with listeners and artists is very, very important, especially in this era, as I said before, of digital and consistent relationships. So I think that it is important. Are you? Yeah. It's like, yeah.
And on the other hand, even though there has been a huge rise in the convenience of and usage of streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, whatever you will, there's also a large revitalization or a revival for vinyl over the past few years. And why do you think so many people, both young and old, have regressed back to collecting and listening to vinyl when the convenience of music on your phone is so big nowadays?
Pepitone. Well, I think that vinyls and so CDs now we are going on back on also tapes because they are the new revival back to the CDs, back to vinyl, back to tapes. Well, I think that vinyls and CDs become a sort of new memory from a concert, from a band, and a kind of new merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that people need to go back to something touchable, something that they can collect. Personally, I don't understand this phrase for vinyl because I don't like the sound on vinyl. I prefer CD, but it's not agreeing with me. But I think that people just want to go back to something that I can buy and I can touch. I think that this is
for the music. I think the difference are born from analogic era and digital era. Because in analogic era with vinyl, you can hear, you can, come si dice percepire?
Feel.
You can feel all the sfumature?
Shades.
Oh, shades?
Shades.
All the shades. There are cuts for the digitals, for the digitals mode.
I'm not
right.
so. Okay.
It seems like you do have some disagreements as well, like me and Nicole here.
Like always.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, Violet Blend's second studio album, Demons, is out April 1st and will be available on all streaming platforms. And on behalf of all of WMSC here, me, Nicole, Heavy's the Crown, WMSC, Montclair State University, America as a whole, why not? We want to personally thank you for joining us here today, and we look forward to hearing the rest of the album.
Thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you.
A pleasure.
Of course. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.